dance steps. The new edition was so good in their moves, and then they all were together, and that was the hard part about it. Just singing and it was just great.
It was pretty hard for me, just learning the dance moves and everything. I was tired. I would go home back to the hotel. I would have to soak and bath for it. It would hurt so much.
It goes to at 6 o'clock.
Yeah, it goes to at 6 o'clock.
Isn't it so crazy how they resemble them so much?
Yeah.
Like, I'm like looking at them and hearing them talk, I'm just like, wow, you guys really kind of resemble them. Now, were you guys interested in singing before doing this movie? Were you like in School of Arts? Like, what type of training you had prior to doing this, or any at all?
Well, I was in The Lion King on Broadway.
Yes, boy.
All
right.
Yeah, longest running symbol
Longest
on Broadway.
running symbol. Yes, then I
Yeah, man.
So I always dance, sing. So when this came up, I was like, yes. Let's see if I get to show it off and do it. Yeah.
I was focused on acting most likely. I was in a performing arts school called Miss Bands. When I was younger, I used to dance and perform in shows, but I was just most focused on the acting until I got this job.
It kills you. It kills you,
They
baby.
did an amazing job. The first question, I definitely want to kick it off to you, Chris. What was your vision going in when it was time to really put this to life?
It was really just, well, first of all, let's take a moment. And wasn't the girl in the window who said you're the radio? That's Chloe Robinson, that's my daughter. Okay, so the vision was, listen, this was my first concert as a teenager, so I kind of feel like I prepped for, 35 years to actually make this film. And it was all about authenticity. Like, Jesse Collins, our producer, it took 10 years to create this project. I met him years ago and he told me about it then. And he's just, the script turned into 3 scripts. And we just knew that we needed to make sure that all these anti-lifers and, girls, when you make a biopic, when you do something that is real and the people are here and alive, you have a big responsibility not only to tell an amazing story, but to make sure that it's right.
Yeah. That's one thing I did pick up by watching it, is how authentic it was. Did you guys pick that up as well?
Yeah.
Like, I felt like we were there reliving the moment with the first part of this.
And so many talent. The other thing I'll say is because these guys are so talented, and the Littles actually sang their part. So what you heard, those aren't new edition records. Those are records produced by the guys who produced them back in the day. Babyface, Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis. Caleb's a singer. Luke James, obviously. Tyler's a little. Elijah, Algie. I'm trying to manage him because he's going to have a record deal in a minute. All these guys are so talented, they really sing, and that's why you guys feel the authenticity.
As a producer, what was your vision coming in, Jesse? Was it the same? Did it mirror Chris's vision?
We just wanted to make a film that when Black Twitter came, they were happy.
Okay.
We could just, survive that. No, it was really just making a movie that, or a miniseries that, first and foremost, that the 6 members will be happy. You're portraying people that aren't alive and their families are there, and these guys have to walk around after this comes out answering questions for the rest of their lives. Like, did you really do that? Did you really sing Reasons? Did you try to steal Ralph's girl? All that stuff is what, these guys are going to have to go through, and we wanted it to be something that they could be proud of, along with, like you said, the anti-lifers, the Candy Girls, Rob the Historian. We wanted everyone who's been down with New Edition from day one.
Historians.
To be happy.
That leads me to my next question. Were the guys actually on set during the time that you guys...
Every day.
Every day.
Yeah, did they say, retake, I need you to step left a little better.
They actually, because they can't hear me. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. No, all the guys, they were there. Well, if not all of them, at least one of them came by every day. And there was one classic moment that I think is on BET.com at some point where the Littles, us, and the original New Edition was all doing the choreography together.
Oh.
And the most amazing thing about that was they're all like double, triple the Littles' age, but they were doing the choreography 9, 10, 11 times over, looking back at us like, well, y'all were young Negroes. Us being winded, but, we saw right then their professionalism and how they were so fine-tuned to their craft and their work ethic. They never took a second off for their fans and for any lifers, and it was amazing to see.
Yeah.
All right, so this comes from Twitter. For Luke, Elijah, and Algie, how does it feel to take on the legacy of this incredible group? Either one can answer that. Answer it individually.
This is, for me, this is important. This is a group that I guess I can say I grew up on. This is more of my older brothers. That group, they put me onto this. But this group is really important to culture and to pop culture and to music in general. The things they did, breaking away and being successful in their own entities, they're a true supergroup. This was a great lesson for myself to be able to talk to these guys and just really get their work ethic and to hear the stories and the things they've done and how they're still together. Because being a musician myself, nothing's changed. There's always somebody trying to get over on you, and it's a good lesson, and I've learned a lot, and I'm making changes in my own life just because of it. Yes, and then also I gained some brothers. I gained some people I would have never truly, this is like, we talk every day. And I hope it stays that way because this is what we need, especially now more than ever, to stay on each other, to be excellent.
Yeah, because Luke already acted brand new.
We just celebrate the fact that these guys are still alive and are able to see their own story. For me, it's just super, it's just like super full circle moment. This is just amazing. Like, I get to play Ralph Tresvant. Like, these guys have been touring the world since they were like 12, 13 years old. So, like Elijah said, when we had that moment where all three generations were in there, like us, them, and the Littles, it was just like, they was looking back at us like, man, you feel me? Like, they hitting the step super smooth. Like, wow, just teach me to slide, bro. That's all I know is to slide. But it was just dope. I became a better singer. I become a better actor. Chris, Jesse pushing me so much.
Yeah.
It's just been an amazing experience for me. And I can honestly say that this, like, coming into it, you have so many expectations of biopics, especially ones done on television. We haven't had the best of the most recent ones, so there was a lot of pressure. But all that pressure was eradicated. We came together. Like, there was no egos, there was no nothing. We had 3 weeks to learn everything. Yeah, we had 3 weeks to learn the choreography and all that stuff. And during those 3 weeks, we saw every day how legendary they were every day. We started talking like, why aren't they, in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, why don't they have like a star in the Hollywood Walk? And at the end of the movie,
January 23rd.
all of that stuff came to fruition. That wasn't even a thought before we even started filming. So this movie was like a part of manifesting what was to come. Right.
For them.
So, for them. And they have their star on the Walk of Fame coming on January 23rd.
You guys spoke a little bit about the brotherhood, and I heard getting prepared was like a camp, like a little boot camp.
It was a camp. It was a boot camp.
I mean, what you witnessed on film, we actually went through the no air conditioning, the early hours, 8 hours a day. It was intense. I mean, they even went to the extreme of like not really giving us the contract, like saying you got the part. They kind of like made us, feel like they're still looking for another Johnny, still looking for another Bobby. So we couldn't come in there with this mindset of, oh, we got it. We're the actors, we're Hollywood, and we're gonna sit in our chair, we're gonna take a break. Brooke, you gonna answer my question because I ain't really New Edition. Nah, first day I'm raising my hand and Brooke is talking to us. He ignores me, he turns on the music, we start dancing. The first routine we learned was 11 minutes long. Okay, I got 2 left feet. It's too much for me right now, you know, it was too much. But he stopped the music and he said, yo, if you ask me a question, that means you ain't listening. That's gonna happen, all right? You guys got 3 weeks to become New Edition. This is our legacy. You guys gotta become these guys. And it just made it so real for us. And then the kids, they come in there with all that energy. And all we hear is, man, the kids are killing. What y'all gonna do? What y'all? I got issues.
We used to have the kids first, top of the day, so that they would come in and have to see the kids. Like Chris really is like, it was all like Jedi mind. Like we had a wall where every time we would cast somebody, a picture would go up, or like possibles. So we had like 3 Bobbies on the wall while Woody was still in boot camp. And we never took those pictures down.
My next question, how did you know that this cast was the cast? What was that moment for you guys, that pivotal moment?
You know what? It happened really, interestingly enough, it happened just like the real group came together. You know, Ronnie came into the group last, Keith came in last. Every single guy who came through, we went to Boston, DC, New York, Atlanta, the cast, with all the kids and with all the bigs, we put them through it, you know? And it's funny how it works out, because, you know, at first, you know, I was like, questionable. I wanted Keith to play Ralph, and I was like, Algie, I don't know. Jesse's like, I'm telling you, you gotta, so and of course, he's the best Ralph. There's no question that he should have been Ralph. Like, his performance he embodied him. Wood, you know, we were looking for Bobby Brown. Imagine trying to find Bobby Brown, and this guy's Bobby Brown. We searched all over the country, and we got a recommendation from Fatima Robinson, a friend of Peter Jesse's, who's a choreographer. And, you know, he's danced all over the world with Chris Brown and Fatima and on TV. And then he's like an Instagram monster. Like, he's like got millions of followers. Never knew it, but he came in and he killed it. His audition, he came and stood on the table in front of all the BT executives and, you know, he gave But, you know, it wasn't that you knew anything, it happened, you know.
I think Chris really just made everybody, and it really prepared them for Brooke, because Brooke was all about mental toughness. Like, Chris would have 2 people auditioning for Ralph. These are the kids, not even the adults. And he'd have them flip the scene. So you're Ralph. Okay, now you're not Ralph. Now you're playing opposite Ralph. So it'll be like you're competing against a person in the same scene in a little room. So, and you'd have kids crying and moms.
No,
Chris.
You know, it was real, and I think, you know, this gentleman to my left, he was a stickler. Like, you know, I'm a filmmaker, and to the point where he'd say things like, well, no, Ralph's mother had a 1978 Buick, and she still owed money on it. So it was brown, and in Detroit, the factory, like, he was so focused about authenticity, as well as Stephen Hill, who is the biggest New Edition historian, next to Rob the historian. And, you know, and so that also equated to the things that really happened, the divorces, the fights, the issues. Jesse always made sure that we told the story for real, whether it was hurtful or whether it was beautiful.
There's a scene in night 3 that I think really drove it home for me and Chris. It's Ricky Bell at one point loses his house. He loses everything. And he's telling his wife that it's over, that they're going to be in the street. And Ricky and his real wife were there. And so they watched the whole scene, and they relived that moment.
And Amy was like, well, at least it was all worth it. Now somebody will learn from what we did. So that made us feel like we were on the right track.
So we have one more question for the guys before we get to the audience. If you could take away one humbling experience from this whole process, what would it be?
If I could take one humbling experience from this whole process, it would simply be to stay professional, one, because New Edition was an amazing example of remaining professional, which I feel is a lost art in this generation. You know, for them to go arguing 5 minutes before performing on Soul Train Awards and give you the best performance because they cared about you guys so much. And they cared about giving a great performance. And it shows that we all need to respect our crafts and really take our craft seriously because, you know, you could lose it any day. And they could have lost it just simply off simple arguments, but they stuck with it. Even if they were arguing, they'd be on stage looking at each other, I don't know, but they would hit the move, you know, and that's what matters. But I mean, it's that, it's brotherhood, it's love, it's culture, it's, you know, I take just respecting your elders and knowing your history because New Edition opened the door not only for African American cultures, but all different types of races, boy bands, whatever. So, yeah.
That's important. Respecting our culture. A lot of times we so quick to throw our culture away, and then other people take it and act like it's theirs.
Exactly.
So we have to do I'm glad you said that, because we have to do a better job at protecting what we created and made cool and massive.
I would say listening to each other, communication. I think the thing that happened, and I guess the guys understand now, 33 years later, and they're teaching it to us, is to stay open, you know, and to really try and understand each other. You know, understand why Bobby needs to be in the front, why Bobby needs to have what he needs to have, why everyone needs to have what they need to have. Like really having that communication rather than trying to keep a person in a box. You know, what's for them is for them, and allowing them to breathe and be that is you know, that needs to happen. Everyone needs to fly. So I think communication and having complete understanding can help with that rather than allowing it to tear each other up by trying to keep somebody in a box that doesn't want to be in a box. Yeah.
Mine would have to be prayer. You know, faith. My faith wasn't as strong coming into this project, but me sitting and talking with Bobby. Bobby lost his wife. Bobby got into drugs. Bobby lost his daughter, and he's still here going strong. And I asked, how you doing it? It's like prayer. And after that moment, my faith was
Mine isn't as heavy as everybody else's, but it was humbling. One of the days, I mean, everybody up here, we put a lot in our work. Once we set our foot on set, it's just like, it's time to go. It's time to shine. Like, we're the best at what we do. That's how we're supposed to feel. But this one particular day, Bricky Bell didn't agree. So we were doing, I think, If It Isn't Love choreography. And we were doing, you know, Smooth right here. And, you know, I thought I had my stuff together. And Ricky comes over, he was just like, yo, hey. It's like, I like everything you're doing. It's just a little less corny. And I was like, damn, this whole time, I thought I was cool. But, you know, being able to have that open dialogue with legends like that is, you know, was a blessing. And it made everybody rise to a level of excellence that we tried to portray. And from what I saw from everybody, it was no longer a portrayal when it happened. Like, we achieved excellence.
We are excellent.
Proud of everybody up here, you know, for dying to themselves and becoming greater for the greater good of this project.
All right, give it up one more time for our cast. All right, so we have time for a super fan question. All right, stand up, please. Make sure you're loud enough so everybody can hear you.
Hi, guys.
Marsha.
First of all, I just want to say really quick before my question, this is Black Boy Joy for me.
Absolutely, Black Boy Joy.
And you guys are going to look back in like 5 or 10 years, there's going to be a young boy that's going to watch this movie and be like, that's what I want to do. It's amazing to see.
Okay, you gotta be a little louder.
Sorry.
Sorry.
So yeah, Black Boy Joy, you guys are amazing. You guys are all fine. You guys
Come on now.
Preach now. I think my question would have to be, what can you give to the people as far as entertainers? Because some of you guys, I know you're a singer. I don't know how long you guys have been acting. I know you're from Hairspray. What can you give to us, like young creatives? I don't act, I dance. I want to be a filmmaker one day. What can you give to us and inspire us and tell us how do we push forward and kind of like kick open that door for ourselves?
I feel like one thing that's very important that this movie shows us is make sure your business is right, because through all of this, you know what I'm saying, they had their moms and stuff there, but no, there was no one really there to say, no, this is what this really means, you know what I'm saying? And I feel like that's a problem, like Keith was saying, that's a part of professionalism, to know that you have your business in order with your money, taxes, everybody, especially for our culture, you know what I'm saying? And so I feel like that's one of the biggest things people need to worry about, is making sure before you try to make all this money, make sure you got your ducks in a row.
And when you do got your team together, you just got to remember that hard work is undefeated. Consistency, just consistency for sure, and just stay working hard, no matter, because, you know, people sometimes ask me, like, yo, I'm just trying to get on, like, how do you get on? And just like, bro, honestly, man, you can do the craziest things to get on, but to be good in your craft, you have to work. You got to put in the hours. You know, y'all on Instagram, all you see is the good. You know, Instagram's a highlight reel, but you don't never see the nose. You don't never see those.
Yeah, have no fear. No fear. Fear is not real. You know, and there are people that will project their own fear onto you and say you can't do that, as you notice in the film. You know, and there will be somebody there that say, don't listen to them. You really want to do this? Go for it. You know what I mean? Pray, meditate, keep that, and then go out there and commit and do it. And always create and stay around creative people, smarter people, you know, positive people.
Never shy away from
Never shy away from your own individuality.
Boom.
Like, we're in a place where it's like carbon copies of each other. There is nobody on this earth that can be you.
Nobody.
Can be you. All of us sing and dance. I can't sing like Luke though. I can't dance like Woody. You know what I'm saying? I may not be as smooth as Algie, but I have an equation for myself.
You're an amazing actor. An amazing actor.
You have to play to your you have to play to your individual strengths, because there's something about you that's going to excel you and catapult you to your dreams individually that it wouldn't work for everybody else.
Everybody has a different path.
Absolutely.
And you have to be incredibly driven to get to
Hold
it.
on, that light is so dope on me right now.
Oh, you like that? All right, so we have time for one more question. Let's get one in the back. Let's get one of the kids in the back. You with the sweater. Can you speak really loud? Or you
Can we get a mic? Bring that mic. Hold on.
Okay,
One
you
second.
ready to
Oh.
the mic?
Go, go, go.
He looks like Drake.
So my question is, what impacted your lives to start acting, singing, and dancing and stuff like that?
Really good question.
Wow.
Can we hear from the little kids?
What's your name?
Yes, please. Can we hear from the little?
What's your name?
Matthew.
Hey, Matt.
It's Caleb.
Well, you know, I have a family. My parents, actually my little sister Caitlin, shout out to Caitlin. She actually introduced me to acting. We were both in this not school play, like community theater called Pied Piper. And she was one of the youngest kids to be in there. She just inspired me to like start this, and I was like, oh, I want to do acting and singing and dancing and all of that. And what really got me into it was when I saw Lion King though. Lion King on Broadway. It was a Sunday morning. My dad's a reverend, so I thought I was going to this church in Times Square. I didn't know anything about Times Square. I was like, oh, Times Square, that's cool. So went to Times Square. I was like, Lion King, Lion King, and then I just saw Simba, I saw an African American young boy up there on stage, on Broadway stage, and I just wanted to be just like him. And it just inspired me to just do more than what I wanted to do. So that's what inspired me.
You know, I used to just upload videos to YouTube when I was younger, way younger, about 5, 6.
Yeah, 2 years ago. How old are you now?
35.
Videos of us singing and dancing. And then one day, this agent had emailed my mom and was like, we want to bring this kid in because I had made a video of me saying that I wanted to be a dancer and a singer. I wanted to be, I think I said I wanted to be like Chris Brown. And quite, yeah, young fish. The agent had emailed my mom and was like, we want to bring this kid in. And after that, my career just took off.
Wow. Thank you guys for sharing. I want to thank you guys so much for coming out and being a super fan of New Edition. Thank you so much to BET and Hot 97. Again, I am TT Torres. Thank you guys so much for coming out. Remember, stay in your seats really quickly. We're going to let the talent out and then we're going to release you guys. So stay in your seats really, really quickly.
Thank you so much.
Thank you guys so much.
This is for us, by us, support us.